I see.
Yes. Yes. I'm perennially angry with America's politicians, and I was trying to write about that, and I couldn't verbalize it. And then when I got that title, I thought, oh yes, I know what I want to say.
It's amazing. It just focused the energy for you. Yeah? And helped you with the
Yeah,
phrasing.
it did. It did, and that happens to me. It's funny. I usually start poems as untitled. I usually call them untitled,
Yeah.
and if it seems like once I do title it, I make little changes, and the poem sort of comes to life then for me.
Interesting. Yeah. I remember at one point I had a title. A title came to me. I had nothing else but a title, and I knew I wanted to. I had nothing else but a title, and I knew I wanted to write a book with that title.
I love it. What was the title?
Thistles and Marigolds.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that definitely deserves a book.
No, I did one, just a chapbook, a long time ago. But first I had the title, and a friend of mine said she wanted to write a book, but she only had a cover picture. She didn't have a title. Neither of us had content.
I love that.
But my title, I could take her picture, she could take the picture, and we could steal some content from the internet. No one would know.
And no one would ever know. That's great.
But it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But suddenly things come to birth of their own volition.
They do, and in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah, and each one's different. Was this last book that you wrote, wait, yeah, I want to know about it. The last book that you just came out with, what's it called?
It's called What We Can't Forgive.
Yes, and how did that come into being?
I think because I tend to get very impatient or angry with the injustice of things, and that I also try to think of ways to forgive. I think about forgiveness a lot, and I try to read what wise people say about forgiving, about how we can and what we can't. And very often it comes to me, I saw this movie called Magnolia, and in the movie, the director at the very beginning, or at the very end of the movie, says something about, in the end, it's all about what you can't forgive. And in thinking about that and the nature of forgiveness, I was struck by how often I think of things I can't forgive rather than what I can forgive. It's very easy and very simple for me to forgive nice people and people who don't mean to do the wrong thing, But reaching for forgiveness in somebody meant to do a bad thing is a difficult concept for me. And I thought, I bet that's difficult for a lot of people. And so some poems came of that, and finally a book.
Okay, I wanted to know why you were writing your book. Did some of these things come to a head, or did you go through a process while you were writing?
Yeah, I did actually. It's funny. As I said, my immediate reaction is that there's just things I just can't forget. Forgive. I'm impatient. I'm angry. I'm whatever. And what I found was that in thinking about these things, that the longer I addressed them, the easier it was for me to say, maybe I can forgive that. And at least, if not able to completely forgive it, I can put it away or revisit it less often. And it was a really good process for me, because in writing the book, I asked people that I knew, friends and people, what can't you forgive? Is there anything you can't forgive? And got insights from them. And I found from that most people, at least many of the people I know, are very forgiving. I mean, they really are. They're very willing to live and let live, and to say, well, we're all just working guys trying to get along. I was very surprised at that. I thought I'd meet, especially with our economy the way it is and everything, I thought I would hear a lot of complaints and a lot of anger and impatience. But instead, most people were very, well, this is a lot of people's faults, not just one, and this is something we're just going to have to work through. So in that, I don't know if people, I thought, well, either they're very forgiving or they're just exhausted, one or the other.
Or they're used to it.
Yeah, or they're used to it, exactly.
They found a way to deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And after you wrote the book, did you feel a sense of completion, or did you feel you had attained another level of digestion?
Yeah, I did. I felt as if pondering it, I felt as if exploring it was the right thing to do. That looking into that, rather than just saying, oh, well, that's just the way I am, that looking into it and trying to, that actually, that was a mellowing experience. That was a way to digest it, like you said.
Okay. Thanks. Would you consider reading one of the pieces from the book?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a beautiful book. Very
Oh,
beautiful.
thank you. It's the cover. It was from a quilt. I like to use people's quilt designs. Oddly enough, the name of this poem is Untitled, Unfinished. The darkness resonates with neon. You guys, it says, we could all escape this planet at the same time. Rise up as quietly as anemones open and stare up to where we are going, driven into the beautiful dark. Imagine it, a herd of the nicest people in the world, floating upward, whistling, humming, laughing, knowing it's all a magic trick, enjoying the drift. There will be questions and conversations. Am I still tripping on the mescaline I took at that gas station restroom in Poway? Did I go into a coma when I slipped and fell on my head at that ice skating rink in Merced? We'll hear a resounding no. Listen, it says, we will rise until we engage ourselves, until death all around us folds like a fan, only to open again when chaos rearranges us.
Okay.